In my last video for you, we talked about how to deploy experiences to the venue, to the museum, the workplace, the store, and how to deploy experiences to the web. So they run inside a web browser and even inside third-party content management systems. Pretty cool. I want to deep dive a little bit on the web deployment because we touched on a topic called progressive web applications, and it's pretty important and I want to make sure you understand it. When you publish experiences to the web, if you remember, there's a choice. You can use player licensing or views licensing. Views licensing is what you use when it's an indeterminate number of devices. On my screen, we're looking at the Intuiface overview experience. Some of you might have seen this during maybe our pre-sales process. If I go to Deployer's web page, here's views licensing option. That's if it's an indeterminate number of devices. I don't know how many there are going to be, so your subscription is for a views bundle. It's 1,000 views to start. You can buy additional views, and anybody anywhere in the world can enter the URL and they'll start consuming views. That's great, but it has to run in a browser. It has to be online. If I use player licensing, it doesn't have to be online. It actually downloads everything proactively. It doesn't dynamically retrieve anything while you're interacting with it. It's all preemptively, proactively downloaded. It can run offline. That's because what it really is a progressive web application. It's an industry term. It's not something we created. And it means it's web technology, but bundled in a way that it can run even outside of the browser. It acts like an application. It can run inside a browser too. I want to show you how to pop it out. Why would you do that? Why would you want to pop it out? Well, first of all, it's just cleaner. If I want to present something, I don't have to open up my browser. Maybe you see bookmarks or who knows. It's just an icon on my desktop, double click it. It's just running standalone. And also it gives you the access to more operating systems. For example, PWAs from Intuiface can run on the Mac operating system. Not standalone player for in-venue deployments, but it will work for web deployments, and you can create that standalone PWA. So there are some reasons to consider it. Let's create a player licensed web deployment and create a standalone application. Here we are again for the Intuiface experience, where for player licensing, we will create a URL. And I want to give this URL a custom name just because it's easier to figure out, to remember. So we'll call this Jeff Demo. And down here, there it is, permit installation. You see permit installation? That is giving permission to the person who enters the URL to install a standalone instance of that web page, to pop it out of the browser and let it run independently. You need to turn that on. So we'll turn it on and then save. Done. Here at the bottom of the panel, there's my URL. I'm going to copy it and just jump over to a new tab here in Chrome and load it up. And what's loading up in the browser is that experience. Here's the experience running in our browser. You might be familiar with it. If I click it, we jump into this list of products in our portfolio, and clicking on them opens up different parts of the portfolio. Okay, we get it. Look in the upper right-hand corner. See at the right side of the address bar, you have that icon with a computer and an arrow on it. That allows me to install that standalone instance of this experience, to pop it outside of the browser. Let's click it, install, and there it is. It's pretty quick, right? So let me reduce the size of this thing a little bit, minimize Chrome itself, and here we have the standalone application. It's the same thing. If I click Headless CMS or Share and Deploy, it's the same application running outside of the browser. And look, see in the upper left-hand corner? There's the icon for it. If I double-click that icon, this is what pops up. It's still web technologies. And in fact, if you're online, it's still going to look to see if there's a newer version of this experience that you've deployed. And if there is, it will download it. But if not, it's going to run what's here locally. Even if it's offline, it's still going to run because everything is cached on the device. It's a really cool feature. I don't know if it's an advanced feature, but maybe a lot of you don't need it, but it's a really cool one, super simple to use. Try it out.